Everything changes for you when you hit 100,000 monthly listeners on Spotify, and you can hit that milestone faster than the haters say you can. My name's Chris, also known as the artist Manifest. I'm a rock and hip hop artist. I have about 500,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. And in this video, I'm going to share with you my system from going from 0 to 100,000 monthly listeners. And I've already done the math. Good old ChatGPT says you need about 7,000 to 10,000 streams a day to hit 100,000 monthly listeners. So that's only 10 songs doing 1,000 streams a day.
That was easy.
So the first strategy in my system you want to implement is do smart collaborations. You want to work with artists in your genre that already have your fan base and feature on each other's tracks so you can cross promote and share audiences, okay? Now that you both have a song out together, you can pitch it to Spotify's algorithm, right? So that you can pitch it to the editorial playlist. So you both have a chance on getting in an editorial playlist. When you've pitched it to the editorial playlist, it also triggers both of your release radars. So all of your followers both get notified when you have a new song out. When you post on social media, and I just did this last Friday, I did a post and I invited the other artists that I worked with, and it wasn't just the artist that was singing on the song, it was also the producer who produced it. So all three of us did a combined post, and of course it gets way more comments, way more shares, right? And so it's like we're all working together to promote this song, right? We made a lyric video for this song. Actually, she made the lyric video for the song. I didn't do anything. She's like, here, I made this. I had someone do it. They paid for it, or I don't know who got it done, or they got it done for free. I uploaded it to my YouTube channel. They can upload it to theirs. We can both upload the snippets to Instagram stories, TikTok, and we're both promoting, right? And so this is amazing. But what gets even better, and my favorite part about this, is that we share the marketing budget, right? So let's just say we paid the producer, right? Maybe we split it 50-50. Or say we want to have some marketing behind this thing and we want to go to radio, or we want to make a music video or do a certain playlist campaign. Well, we both split the cost 50-50. So what was maybe out of your budget before, now that somebody is covering half of that, you can go in together and you can reach more people. See how freaking awesome this is when you can start collaborating with other people? And sometimes maybe you have to pay for a feature, and you either pay 3 different ways. You either pay with cash, and some artists just want cash up front. Others want publishing, while others want a piece of the master. Some want a little bit of the master, a bit of the publishing, and sometimes maybe a little fee. It all depends. Normally, though, when you're giving publishing and master, then that means that they're not getting a fee as well. And for me personally, I prefer the equity in most cases. Okay, unless it's like an artist that's not, where I don't think the song is going to do really well, then maybe I'll want some cash up front. But if it's someone who's got the same monthly listeners as me or close, then I'm totally fine where let's just split this thing up. Let's not trade any money, cash money. Let's both be invested in this song and promote it to the best ability we can. But what's so awesome, and what I'm always realizing is I'm not just tapping in to their fans, which is amazing, but I'm tapping into their network and their resources. And I'm totally cool with giving a percentage of the song, because I'd rather have 50% of a watermelon than 100% of a grape. And my mentor, Alex Hermosi, said this in a post recently, which billionaires understand that we don't, okay? Check these stats out. Elon Musk only owns 20% of Tesla, okay? Jeff Bezos only owns 9% of Amazon. And Jensen Huang only owns 4% of NVIDIA. Okay? And what we don't understand as artists is that we live in the partnership economy. We've got to come together and stop looking at each other as competitors and start looking at each other as collaborators. We got to work together in this thing, and we got to put down our fear. We got to put down our ego and work together to blow something up. It takes a team, right? What's that quote? If your dream doesn't require a team, you're not thinking and you're not dreaming big enough. We need each other to do this, and we need to delegate certain things. Like, how amazing is it when somebody can bring their talents, and this person over here can bring their talents, and you bring what you've got to the table, and now we're 10xing this thing, right? I have a new album coming out in the new year in 2025. We've released a whole bunch of singles leading up to this album, and there's 13 songs on it, and 7 of them have featured artists on it. And so I want to ask you, out of all the songs that you've released, let's just say you've released 10, how many of them have featured artists on them? Are they all just you, right? And I'm totally, again, cool with working with other artists and splitting things, because I know in the long run, I don't know if they're going to blow up or what's going to happen. And like I shared in a webinar years ago, I had the opportunity to do a song with NF before he had blown up. And now look at him, he's got 13 million monthly listeners, right? So you have no idea which one of these artists that you're going to work with is going to blow up. And now you're a part of their profile. So anything they do on Spotify or any of the other platforms, you're going to benefit from. And again, this isn't just Spotify. This is Apple Music. This is Deezer. This is Amazon. This is social media. And now, you can leverage that to promote songs and to promote to their audience. Now, if you just absolutely don't want to do collaborations, that's fine, but that's one of the fastest ways to get to the top. And I don't understand why you wouldn't want to work with other people, because it's how you meet other people. There's just certain things talent can't open and only relationships can open. I'm talking about certain doors and certain things that you want to be a part of. Well, that's going to take relationships and not just talent. So I strongly advise you, if you're not going to collaborate with different artists, at least collaborate with different producers then, right? Work with different producers that are working with those artists, right? Get them to produce a song, pay them, pay whatever it is to open up that door, because there's just certain things money and talent can't buy and only relationships can, which leads me to number 2, invest in smart ads. Now, if you think that $1 or $5 or $10 a day is going to make you this millionaire musician overnight, you need to wake up, okay? Because it's going to take a lot more than that. Yes, you can start at $1 a day, $5 a day. Really, $1 a day is an absolute joke. Pretend I didn't say that. $5 a day, minimum, okay? But if you want to scale to millions, you've got to spend more than that. And I'm going to give you some real examples here, okay? For third-tier countries, when you're targeting with your Facebook and Instagram ads, meta ads, right? We spent $700 US total on this one ad campaign targeting third-tier countries like Philippines and Brazil, okay? And we reached 400,000 people, and we got 1.2 million views on that ad. And it crushed it because the ad was good and the song was good, and we got lots of comments, okay? Hundreds of comments and shares, right? We did the exact same ad targeting a tier 2 country like Europe, for example. We spent $700 again, but we only reached 185,000 people, but we still got 500,000 views. So that's like half, we reached half the people for the same amount. But now when we come to tier 1 countries like Canada, the US, we spent $500 US on this one campaign. Okay, so $500 total. We reached 41,000 people and only got 42,000 views. Now, whatever you think about those numbers, that's actually a good ad campaign and a good return, but these ad costs are still cheap, okay? But you need to understand that we did this and promoting a song that was only getting 0 to 200 streams a day, and we scaled it to over 2,000 streams a day, which brings in about 20 to 30,000 monthly listeners. So we're about, almost a third of the way there to your 100,000 monthly listeners, okay? So this is the kind of budget and the marketing it takes. And, I don't need to collaborate. I don't need to post on social media, right? I can just create an awesome ad, and I can scale that up. Now, we ran this, it turned out we were spending about anywhere from 80 to 100 a day total, and we did this for about a month and a half. We ran a lot of different ads, right? And we saw our song go from 200 streams a day to over 2,000 streams a day. Now, the only way to bring those ad costs down is to have either a better song or a better ad. And so we've always started testing things, and we always posted on social media to find out which is the best ad to start with, right? Because like you can go and create a whole bunch of ads, but you don't know which one is going to work until you spent a bit of money. And that's why you start at $5 or $10 a day to figure out which ad is really working, because we want to get the lowest click possible to our Spotify playlist. And then once we got one that's working, then I start scaling it to the different countries. But I start in a third tier country like Brazil or Philippines or whatever other third tier country, right? So I can get really cheap ad clicks to find out which ad is working. Then I bring that over to Europe, and then it's like, okay, that's still working, and we have an ad set budget going there, and then we bring it to Canada and the US, and then we slowly scale up. And this is how we were able to get over 2,000 streams, right? Now, you don't want just a quick spike, which leads me to number 3, okay, is we trigger the algorithm. This is the third part of the strategy, because once you've gotten a certain amount of streams over a period of time, which like is a month to a month and a half, Spotify starts to take notice. They're like, whoa, what's going on with this song? You know, it's getting a lot of streams. People are saving it. We're getting more playlist ads. Like these are all the real things that start happening, and Spotify is taking notice of this. Your popularity score is starting to go up. So what we notice is after about a month to a month and a half of doing this, we were paying for the majority of the streams. But then after that month and a half, all of a sudden Spotify's algorithm kicks in, okay? It starts to take notice, and then it starts to push the song out to Discover Weekly, to Release Radar, and the radio. And of course, we opted the song in to Spotify Discovery mode, okay? But what you don't want is this big spike and then this big drop. Okay, we want a nice long arc, and we want to scale up gradually, because that's natural to the Spotify algorithm. We don't want this big spike. It's going to think it's like a bot or something like that. Now, if you've got a big budget to go from the beginning, like, hey, I just want to start at $100 a day from the very beginning. I got 3,000 ready to go. Let's just scale it up. That's fine too. But again, you got to be willing to stay in this game for at least a month and a half to 2 months. We don't want this big spike. And this is the problem, guys, with most artists. I understand sometimes you're fearful, you're scared, but you've got to take courage. You know, Joshua 1:8 says, be strong and courageous. Be strong and courageous. You know, how many times when somebody in the Bible sees an angel and they're fearful and they say, don't be afraid. And I want to say to you, don't be afraid. Take courage. You know, because it is nerve-wracking. There is a chance you can burn money, right? But you got to look at it as, look, I'm willing to invest this money because I believe in my music career. You know, I believe in this song. I didn't just spend the money to make it. I'm going to spend the money to promote it now. And that takes a lot more courage, because for whatever reason, our brains as artists, we see value in creating. It's like, oh, I made something, so that's worth something. But is it really worth anything if no one's heard it? Like, I really believe a song starts to become worth something when somebody's heard it. And now, instead of it just being a liability that cost me something, I've put more money into it to market it. And now it's an asset because it's putting money into my pocket, right? If you've ever read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, assets put money into your pocket. Liabilities take money out of your pocket. But you've got to have that courage, my friend. You got to push through the fear. False evidence appearing real. Something that seems real in your mind, but in reality, it's nothing at all. And you got to stop saying, what if it fails? And start saying, well, what if it works? What if it works? What if this song pops off? And one of the cool things that we haven't even talked about, because like, yeah, we can do smart collaborations, and we don't know which ones of those are going to take off. You just don't know. We can run ads. We don't know what's going to take off, right? But then the algorithm kicks in, and all we can do is do our best to make this happen. But one of the other coolest thing that starts to happen is fans. You know, I was looking at my 2024 Wrapped, and we had about 10,000 fans share the song. 10,000 fans share the song. And we have about 500,000 monthly listeners right now. So let's say you hit 100,000 monthly listeners for the year, and that means 2,000 fans share your song. Like we can't forget about the fans and the amazing things that can happen, because songs hit people's hearts and they impact them. And if your song has the ability to really hit someone, then they're going to share it out. They're going to save it. They're going to recommend it to their friends and family. And you've got this crazy momentum. Now, what breaks this whole thing and what causes this system not to work is you starting and stopping. Starting and stopping. You go for a while and then you're like, no, I can't take it. And you turn off the ad, you get frustrated. I see it all the time. Artists, like a certain expense comes up and we make excuses, right? And for time and money, and we don't commit to this thing long enough to see results. And it takes longer than we think it does. You know, it might take for you maybe not the month and a half. It might take 3 months because you've never run ads before. You never promoted, you never marketed. Well, there's certain ways you can shortcut your times, whether it's hiring a coach. That's why we have our Fanbase University program where I work with you one-on-one, help you set up the ads. You go through the course, and then we help hold your hand. I'll put the link below this video. But you've got to commit. Like, make this coming year, 2025, the year that you're all in. And you're not going to start, but you're going to stay all the way until you've hit it. And for some of you, you've got to hit pause on making more songs. You've made enough songs. It's time to market those songs and get your message. You've been called to something great. God's been knocking on your heart for a long time. You got to take this dream and get it out there. Stop talking about the dream and let's show people the dream with your actions. You know, your actions are speaking so loud, I can't hear what you're saying. Like, I'm running ads right now 24/7. They don't get turned off, right? We start another ad, right? Like, if I want to turn an ad off that's not working anymore, I get another one going before that one gets turned off. So we're constantly promoting it. It never stops.